afternoon, everyone. My name is Maria. Thank you so much for joining our session. Some of you may wonder why I'm not in stage. Someone asked, like, I should be on stage, but I'm here with my awesome panel of speakers today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining our session with IPSB. So without further ado, there's a lot of questions in the Slido. Please do keep on asking us more questions on Slido so that we can answer your question afterwards, or we can just immediately be able to answer after our session. So without further ado, I would like to start with a session with some of the questions or some of the agenda that we would like to be answered upon. And there's a lot of point of view here from the broadcast side of point of view, how we want to do personalization, how we want to find the content, and what are the processes that we need to do in terms of advertisement, and what are the perspective from MCMC in terms of the data that has been driving the broadcaster, how Datel look into the perspective of SME. So there's a lot of topic to discover for today's session. So first question, just to get it started, I would just like to, if you don't mind, ask Puan Shahaliza on how does MCMC adapt in terms of facing the ongoing challenges in terms of regulation, in terms of policy, because things keep on changing, right? With coming AI and things like that. So how do MCMC keep up with that in the changing media landscape?
Hello.
That's
Okay. All right. Thank you for the questions. So basically, MCMC as a regulator, we cannot work alone. We with these evolutions of technologies keep changing and all that. We basically have to work together with the industry through the, like I presented just now, that engagements, consultations, not only with the broadcasters but also other relevant stakeholders in these media agencies, productions house and all that, because we need to understand what are the issues and challenges, and how MCMC will be able to support and facilitate in terms of ensuring the broadcastings are able to continue the growth and the sustainability. And apart from that, also you know, from the industry engagements and also the study research that we have conducted, will also give us some views on what would be the what you call it, points or some things that we can share with industry for them to actually take on in terms of improving or taking actions. Right.
Thank you so much for that. I think the involvement from all broadcasters and government agency for each of the country, because we not only have Malaysian here, we do have from any around Asia. So involvement between government and government agencies, policies making, and the broadcaster is very, very important. As we all know, we are fighting with all the global player, right? Like what Asha mentioned just now, and even Anwar mentioned, some of the fast channel, they have 300 channel on each platform. Just imagine that. And if they come to your territory, what will happen? How does our local broadcaster need to challenge that, or need to, I mean, not what Asha mentioned just now, against them, right? It's not fighting, we need to collaborate with them. But 300 channels, right, Anwar? So how that does affect the advertisement coming to the broadcaster?
So I think when the other platforms are coming in Malaysia, it will impact the local broadcasters in terms of the revenue-wise would be shared. Then the portion would be much more smaller for the broadcasters as well. So I think by venturing into fast and before they are trying to venture in Asian market, then it would at least enhance our positioning in Malaysia, in fact in Asia Pacific as well.
And talking about advertisement, one of the area is how we want to personalize our ads. But when we want to personalize our ad, there's a lot of components that need to happen, right? And the first component that we need to realize is to make sure we personalize the content driven to the consumer. So this is where Axel be able to manage that or try to search the content in terms of your library. Maybe you have like thousands of hours that is not reachable or not searchable. So how important AI play an important role in terms of doing that?
Well, talking about the AI in terms of searching the contents, that's really very crucial nowadays because many users, they need to find their contents within very few seconds now with the increasing number of contents available today. And there comes Axel AI that actually whether you are a broadcaster that are running out of deadlines or a production team who's managing vast footages of archive footage or a production house that they need to repurpose the content. So when it comes to find the contents on the right time, the AI metadata tagging that helps them to search the contents. So this is where Excel leverage that with the AI metadata tagging that we have faces that as an example, the production house that they want to repurpose a footage maybe of a well-known actor, they quickly search the name of the person, then they come out with the content they are looking for, or maybe it can be transcriptions, objects, or logos. So that helps manage the content and saves the time and work as well.
Yep, you're right. I mean, the consumer wouldn't know the taste of your content until they taste your content. For example, like 10 years ago, the global population as a whole don't know the taste of kimchi. Until today, they are #1 in multiple charts, right? People don't know what kimchi is all about, right? But nowadays, they are restaurant, they are movie stars, they are #1 in multiple charts, and they even won some of the biggest award globally. So yeah, first of all, give a taste of your content by using AI to search your content so that is available to your audience. In terms of investment for the next decade or next 5 years, how ATEME see, because you have green technology, that you use your codec to make it much more simpler, smaller, greener, and people talk about this to reduce the CDN, obviously, to reduce the capacity so that the consumer be able to watch the content at a lower cost, because cost is very high right now for a broadcaster, especially to deliver OTT today. So what is the next 5 years investment? What do you see in ATEME, and how broadcaster be able to benefit in terms of investment for or focus investment for the next 5 years?
So, sorry. So, yeah, what we definitely see as a trend is, again, I'm repeating myself, but broadcast is dying. So that's the first thing. So how to optimize the whole infrastructure is by reducing the video head-end cost in the broadcast, because customer, service provider mostly, won't have to maintain 2 different kind of platforms. That's the very first thing. And obviously moving to OTT 100%, because it will bring capabilities such as personalization of content, monetization, ultra low latency, which today is a big big blocker versus direct to home, DTH, IPTV, cable, where the latency is still pretty good and OTT is pretty long. Yeah. But CMAF will completely change the paradigm and help to overcome this limitation. So we see more and more service provider moving towards full OTT by not providing IPTV at home anymore or being in a transition. That's one thing that we see as a I would say a serious investment from the service provider, and obviously how to monetize better by having SSAI, manifest manipulation, which for us, we do not have the intelligence at them to find the content, but we will need company such as Axel and all to be the one selecting the right content that we can insert in order to monetize it. So that will be the big investment we see in the future. And the trend, we see people want when things are immersive more and more. They don't like static things. They don't want to be the one driven or owned by the TV. They want to own the TV themselves, if I may say. They want to be the one choosing what they want to watch, but at the same time, not spending half an hour trying to find on your couch what content to watch before you fall asleep and you haven't had time to select the right one.
Yep. I think the combination of multiple chain of technology, from searching to low latency is still a conversation, heavily invested in OTT. So if we can get it smaller in terms of the latency, I think a lot of more people are going to move into online immediately, especially for
Definitely.
sports.
Yeah.
Right?
Sports, betting.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, that's one big problem. That's why OTT is not being used much when it comes to auction or betting, because you need the lowest
latency
latency.
is still quite a big
Yeah.
gap. Yeah, totally understand. And that's what the investment need to look into that. And I like what the whole group looking into. Every single conversation that we have on stage is talking about personalization, talking about how we can be more effective to our consumer. We are really talking about how we can make consumer life better, right? In order to do that, Datel brought up a very important question, like how we can collaborate, how can we be united, how can we collectively sing the same song so that the advertisers not go elsewhere and go to us, and how we can shift a little bit of 2 billion, okay, like, what, 20%? 200 million, is it enough, 200 million? It's just shift of 20% from, we call it FANGs, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, and Google. If we can shift off a little bit from them, that will be the potential revenue to you guys. But then we need to be united. How important is this conversation need to happen now? Yeah, that goes for Ashran, obviously.
Hello?
Yeah.
All right. Just as I was saying just now, it is, to get the results is not going to be overnight. But the conversation and action, not just conversation, needs to happen now, because there is going to be learning curve that everybody will need to go through, right? If you don't go through that learning curve, because you're going to be unique to the audiences and the players that you deal with, number one. Number two, while it's easier said than done, let's all come together. I also know a little bit from first-hand experience when all media companies come together to agree on a single thing, not the easiest of things also. Right? Hence, to Madia's question just now, the conversation needs to come early enough. The only thing is that the balancing act is, if the conversation is early but your various stakeholders don't feel the pain yet, then the conversation may drag very long. And that's the reality, right? But you want to be able to act upon things. You want to be able to kind of come into some level of alignment. I know there is going to be issues between I'm bigger than you, you are smaller. How can that be a fair kind of a structure moving forward? But again, that reinforces more than anything else. It needs to start now. Because by the time you start when you are feeling the pain, you will not have enough learning curve, room for negotiation with any other fellow industry players to be able to capitalize on the opportunities.
Thank you so much for that. So I think we keep on playing catch up when Netflix do something or TikTok do something, and then you never know, tomorrow there's something else coming up. And we keep on playing catch up, and we run and run and run. We never have enough breath because we keep on playing catch up. So I think it's time for us to be united and lead the conversation, how each country be able to solidify and try to be united, or even ABU can play a role in terms of uniting Asian region in terms of getting the audience, which is the advertisers, which is the users, so that they know that it's easier to go to the broadcasters rather than the global market out there. Like what Ashra mentioned just now, we are not against them. We just want to collectively be able to withhold unition so that we'll be able to have a bit of chance to play in the game, right? So I think other than that, I would like to hear from each one of you some of your opinion, and then we can go to the Slido chat after. Maybe any MCMC vision, or you want to share what you want to see in the next 2 or 3 years.
Okay, I think we also concerned in terms of like the outflow of the advertisements to the outside Malaysia's platform, where the revenue should be within the country to actually for the broadcasters to actually gain. So what we MCMC also, we have been in discussions, to come to have to look into some sort of like framework that will be set a strategic guide, as a guide, for the broadcasters to actually refer to or lay out what I call it, a foundation, for the industry growth and sustainable. So with this framework, we hope that it will give some reference, a guide that will lead broadcasting to a better in the future. Yeah.
Agree. Thank you so much for that. How about maybe Axel? What do you see for the next vision going to be for the next 2 or 3 years?
Well, we can see that with the increasing number of interest among the people, so the AI is taking place all over. And when talking about the broadcast, they will be needing AI more and more, looking for the automations tools. Since in Excel we have our separate software for the automation tool, but there are some other companies that they may have automation tool, but they will be looking more faster and advanced technology. And we always work on that to have to meet the customers' requirements. And as I can see in the future, there will be more implementations on the voice recognitions. There will be it's already been in huge demand nowadays, the voice recognitions. So, and in the past 2 or 3 years, there will be more technologies is going to be evolved.
Yep. How about Ashra? What do you see for the next future going to look like?
I think this answer is going to be a mix of what I think is going to be like and what I hope doesn't happen, because the reality, sometimes doesn't happen that way well enough. And there's definitely a lot of talk about AI adoption, in broadcasting side or even any other parts of the industry. But my biggest worry and concern, if anything, is sometimes that the industry also gets suckered and overhyped into whatever AI conversations that's been talking about. My only reminder for everyone that is in the room, if anything, is to always look at what is the problem that you're trying to solve for your organization, and not be too absorbed with the conversations of AI. Because once you got the clarity with regards to what you're trying to solve in particular, the AI solutioning side of things will come into play. But if you start the question with being activated by AI solutions, then you may get lost in terms of what you need to achieve out of it.
Setting the right expectation, right? Okay, good. I think, Alia, can we go through the Slido and see what's going on in the audience, probably?
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So we have a question from the two anonymous and one question. Oh, it's coming in, it's coming in. Okay, so the first one is, how do you handle data privacy when using cloud technology?
Okay, probably I can answer that. Basically, right now, in terms of most broadcaster, we know that there are multi-cloud provider out there. Choosing the right cloud provider is number one, utmost important. Most of the cloud provider, they should have the certification that is required by each of the country agreement and arrangement. And most of cloud out there should be able to support your services. So in terms of piracy, if they be able to support your services, especially with AI, they already have a contained environment where the policy has been taken to make sure that data security is there, the measurements of data leak is not going to happen, because the key for any cloud provider is within the broadcaster. Like I think this is slide from Alia that mentioning the shared responsibility metrics is all need to be done by the broadcaster or the agency, the solution integrator, and the cloud provider. Yep.
Okay. Next, Mr. Thibault, specifically.
Wow.
Please explain how can small bandwidth accommodate many users?
Small
Sorry,
bandwidth.
how can small bandwidth accommodate many users?
How small bandwidth can accommodate? Sorry.
Many users.
Many users. Okay, there are two ways of answering this. So So it depends if we're talking about the encoding side of it, or the so meaning the compression, or the delivery, so the CDN part. So on the encoding part of it, we've developed, as I briefly shared, explained earlier on, a loopback feature, or patented actually, a loopback technology, where we can adjust in real time not only the CPU needed on the CDN, but also the bandwidth required in OTT. So as you know, OTT is supposedly ABR, so adaptive bitrate, multiple CBR ladders, which forms one ABR group. What we did is we developed VBR feature, such as we call it constant quality rate, where thanks to actually the power of AI, so AI is in the picture, we will be able to give what we call a quality index to a specific content. So example could be a challenging content or very easy content to encode. And thanks to that content quality index, we can adjust the bitrate allocation, even though this channel hasn't been stat-muxed in a stat-mux pool, because stat-mux is statistical multiplexing, so you can always do it versus another channel. But here, when the channel is alone, how can you find out or guess what could be the sweet spot in terms of bitrate to be given to that specific channel? And the only way is by having a huge library of assets that have been already pre-checked, I would say, or pre-analyzed. And then you can say, okay, this content looks like documentary or like soccer or whatever. And then you can adjust the bitrate. So OTT, again, is part of the question because it will depend on the quality of your network, quality of the link, and this is the beauty of OTT. It means the user reach can be extremely high thanks to the power of having multiple bitrate for a given OTT channel.
Okay, so it's anonymous, right? So Miss or Mr., if you can, ATEME will be inside IPSB booth together. So please visit our booth and we can log a session with ATEME team and we'll be able to answer more further question, more technical question.
Yes, we
tomorrow
can do that.
onwards.
And I'm not alone, actually. I have a colleague with me,
Yeah,
Jason,
we're gonna help
that
you.
can help me answer all your questions. I don't have to split myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. The third question is, is AI-based targeted ads can be implemented to identify the user preferences and behavior? I nampak Mr. Ashran dah angkat mic
Mic,
there, so
yeah.
I'm going to pass this to him.
Hello, yeah. Well, short answer is yes. Slightly expanded answer is that what I mentioned just now about first-party data, there is a need to capture that. What we've all got to remember also is that when people talk about AI solutions, at the root of any solution of AI that comes about is data. That's the root of it. AI is not magic, right? But sometimes the data is already kind of pre-modeled by service providers. Some requires data input from the users themselves or the organization. So again, the short answer is yes, but the more you're able to mishmash data from multiple sources, naturally the better it is, the performance is going to be.
All right, so the targeted audience, it depends on your data you'll be able to input, right? Okay, that's a very good one. Next.
Okay, the last question that we have, how come AI dominated automation workflow for MEM? I think we
How
need to,
can AI dominated workflow for MEM, is it? How can probably, how can
yeah.
AI dominated the workflow for MEM?
So,
Probably this is for Nusrat.
Yeah, so it's how comes
How-
AI dominate automation workflow for MEM?
Yeah, how can, but probably how can AI help workflow for MEM?
Oh yeah, so specifically talking about our MEM Axel AI, for the automations, would say that, of course, again, if you want to automate the contents that you have, or you want to analyze the contents that you have, we will be using our automation tool that will automatically tag all the AI data. So, that is how we will be doing it automatically. So one analyzed, we will have all the AI taggings inside the content. So, and I forgot to talk about the scene understanding though. So that is also one of the cool features of Axel AI that is, most of our customers are been very helpful, or it's been very useful for the customers, because sometimes they even don't realize the name, but they do realize the scenario, because if we talk about a cognitive mind, we remember the scenario more than the words. So based on the keywords from our AI tags, we can also search for the contents. So that is also been done automatically via our connector tool that automates the all AI analyzings.
All right, thank you for that answer.
Thank you.
All right, to sum it up, because we're all hungry here, I know. What we're talking here is all about everybody have their objective. I just want to give example. We are right now wanted to cook a fried rice. And everybody on stage right now give you all the ingredients. Everybody have their ingredients up here. So we all know we want to cook the fried rice. So right now, how we want to cook a perfect fried rice, how we want to know we can scale the fried rice, become more thin. So there's a lot of conversation up here. If you want to know how to cook the perfect fried rice, come to our booth tomorrow onwards and visit each of our partner. We have Axel AI, we have Nusrat, we have ATEME, we have Datel, and thank you so much MCMC for the support and your insights. It's very valuable, and there's a lot of report in your slide presentation which we're going to share with ABU. Please read those reports. It's very crucial for us to know what's next and how we're going to strategize. So with that, I would like to thank everyone, all our specialist speakers, and all our audience today for joining us and listening throughout about 4 hours from morning, 4 hours from 9:30. Thank you so much for your support, and let's take a picture session. And as usual, we would like to take an audience picture as well. Maybe we take speaker pictures first, and then we take audience picture.